My son had been waking up around 3:30 in the morning, like every morning. And it was like he wouldn't go back to sleep, and you could tell he was so tired. And finally one day I'm like, "Honey, why won't you go back to bed?" And he said, "He keeps waking me up, and if I don't play with him, he said he's gonna hurt me." I was in 7th grade at a volleyball game and went to walk into the locker room, and I saw a little boy in the mirror in a bathroom stall. And I walked in the rest of the way and went to tell him he had to get out, and he wasn't there. And so that kind of spooked me a little bit. And then going into my freshman year, I was in Indian studies class, and I seen that same little boy poked his head up in the glass, and then he disappeared, and my teacher had to send me to the nurse's station because I got sick to my stomach after I saw it, and she was pretty worried about me. He had the same brown hair. He was wearing a gray it looked like one of them old school baseball shirts where it was like gray and the sleeves were like a different color and they were blue, and it was the same outfit that he was wearing when I seen him the first time in the bathroom. I think he was playful. I don't think he wanted to really scare me, but I think he was like, "Ooh, somebody saw me," and hi. And it was that same year my friend and I were downstairs in the basement because I got to move down to the basement finally. And we did some pretty dumb things when we were younger. Like we would play the Ouija board and think we were cool and stuff. And I thought she was shaking the bed, and she thought I was shaking the bed and trying to wake her up or something. And it was neither of us doing it. It was just really weird. And that was our house in Arlee, and we lived on the reservation. And I would see a guy with like black hair, and it would come down to about here, and his skin was just like pale white, and his eyes were jet black. And he would always either be up like near my closet or by my door. And that was pretty scary. My dog never went downstairs. I tried to make him go downstairs, and he started whining and crying and took off. He just bolted up the stairs. And I'm like, okay, there is something down here. I don't even know how to explain the feeling. I would feel like somebody was watching me all the time. And I don't know who he was, what he was. All I know is it scared me really bad. I think it was not a good one. I think it was an evil entity that was there. Sometimes there would be like loud bangs in like a specific corner of the house. And it was pretty creepy. I didn't stay downstairs long. I moved back upstairs into my old room. My great grandma, she was special. I think that she could see things, and she would just always say, "It's okay, if you think it's bad, tell it to go away, and you're not welcomed here, and they'll go away." And so I always listened to that, and I would always say that when I would feel like it wasn't something good, because I think you can feel the difference, the heaviness. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like static electricity, like when your hair stands up and everything, or like you feel like somebody's like right behind you. Like you get that feeling a lot. And it makes you tense, and I think when the nice ones come around, you feel safe. So when my great grandma passed away, I was 13. She lived in my room, so we always went to bed together, and I would help get her dressed and stuff. And after she passed away, I heard her oxygen machine because it made like a specific bubble noise. And I was walking up the stairs, and I heard it, and I looked, and you could see through the banister, and my grandma was sitting in her chair at the table, and I got really excited, but by the time I turned around and walked up the 4 stairs, she was gone. But I think she was just letting me know that she was okay. Because when she passed away about 10 minutes after we got done visiting her, and we left. So I think she was just letting us know, hey, I'm okay, it's okay. I think human life is borrowed time, and I think that there is more out there. I think if you accept that and you believe in that stuff, I think that's when you're able to actually, you can feel things. I was 20, it was in March, I was almost my 21st birthday, and I was going through some personal issues, and I had overdosed, and I remember the trip to the hospital, but when we got there, all I remember was they were trying to stick something in my mouth. And next thing I know, it wasn't a white room, but it was very, very white in there, and it was very calm feeling. And I was with my great grandma, and I seen my dad's mom, and I seen a lot of people that I've seen in photos, like family members and stuff, and it was the most peaceful feeling in the world. And we were talking, and right before I woke up, she said, "It's okay, sissy, everything's gonna be okay." And I woke up in the hospital. I was out for about 6 days. So that was, I don't know how long that time was, but it felt like it was endless, and I didn't feel any worry is what I felt. It was just a wonderful feeling, and it was awesome getting to see my grandma. I think she was my angel, hanging out with me, making sure I was gonna be okay. The world is full of a lot of things, and it's not just you see it to believe it. They are there whether you want to believe it or not. And some are good, some are family, and some aren't. So be careful, be respectful, and don't mess around with games, because you will invite bad things in. And it's hard to get rid of them, because they will follow you. Once you open up a door, that door will stay open. So we actually lived in a trailer court, and my brother lived in there for about 7 years before we moved in there, and we lived in there for about 6 to 7 years too. And we always would hear things, and it would sound like people were talking, or like the TV was on or something, or things would be moved around. And my mom was spending the night one night, and she was sleeping in my son's room, and she had thought that I had come in, or Xavier had woke up, because she had felt somebody on the side of her bed and tugging on her shirt. And she turned around and nobody was there. And then she felt the bed go down, and she yelled for me, and she left the room. We swapped rooms because something was grabbing at her. My son had been waking up around 3:30 in the morning, like every morning. And it was like he wouldn't go back to sleep, and you could tell he was so tired. And finally one day I'm like, "Honey, why won't you go back to bed?" And he said, "He keeps waking me up, and if I don't play with him, he said he's gonna hurt me." And I'm like, oh my gosh. And this was after my mom had went through that. So I ended up changing rooms completely with him after that. And I woke up because I thought he was up again, and I I had one of those exercise balls, and I looked out down the hallway, and I thought I seen him bouncing on the ball because I heard it bouncing, and I seen him. And I go out, and by the time I get there, he wasn't on the ball, and I go and checked the room, and he was sleeping. So that was kind of like, whew. And then my neighbor Kim told me that she had a little boy, she said, that would play around in her house, but she hadn't heard anything in her house for a while. And I think he was like, oh, there's a kid next door. So he came. I think when you experience things, I think you're more susceptible for those coming into your home, whether you welcome them or not. I didn't like being there alone. My friend had to come over to my house because I heard somebody on my son's monitor. And I went and checked on him. He was fine. And I heard people talking again. And I go and check on him again. And it had looked like somebody had picked him up and laid him in front of the bathroom door. And I just instantly felt this heaviness. And it scared me really bad. And I grabbed my son and I took off running to my room, and I shut the door, and you could just hear these loud footsteps right behind me, and I could see shadows. And I called my friend Melissa, and I'm like, Melissa, you need to come here. And the cupboards were slamming. She could hear the cupboards slamming, and she said that when she had pulled up, and I could hear it, I thought I'd left my TV on, and she thought I had the TV on. And by the time she walked in, it was just dead silent in the house. And I had asked Cam, I'm like, is this place just like really haunted? And she said that it used to be a cemetery where we were living. So I think that had to be a big part of it as well. It's hard to tell somebody who doesn't have an open mind to open up their mind, because not everybody's like that. But I would tell them that it is real, that it is more than just us. And we are just a physical being on Earth. And there's more out there. And you don't have to see it to believe it. We do have angels that watch over us, and people that we care about that come and visit us, whether we can see it or not. Every time you have a feeling or a thought pop in your head of somebody who's passed away, they're visiting you. Whether you want to think so or not, they're letting you know things are okay.